It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome everybody to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you will call to serve. In this episode, we have the one and only Dr. LaToya. She's in the building. Yes, the doc is. And today we'll be talking about fear testing me, but strength define me. We'll talk about that in a minute. What's going on, Dr. LaToya? How you doing?
Hey, thank you so much for having me. This is a wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, by the way. And we'll get into your backstory. We'll talk about how famous you are in a moment. But first, if we can, let's just take a moment when you hear the words, fear tested me, but strength defined me, what do you hear and what does that even mean?
Okay, so I always ask someone like, when fear comes in your life, do you freeze, do you flee, or do you find your strength? And I say that because fear has a way of testing your not only your nerves but your priorities. And sometimes I get the answer of can be in procrastination, it can be perfectionism, and fear can also be waiting on the right time. So when fear creeps up in my life, I try to bring out that strength and pull through and know that everything's going to be okay.
Every entrepreneur, as you said that, it touched so many hearts. Every entrepreneur faces fear. What was one of the fears you had to face and how were you able to overcome it?
One of the fears I had to overcome was leaving my job.
Tell us about
And
that.
so I'm a teacher of 25 years, and but every time I would walk onto the campus or in the classroom, I teach kindergarten, I would feel this tug in my spirit. For the past 3 years, I've been feeling like this, that there's more. Every time is there's more, and it's not that I'm not afraid of hard work. That's not it. The fear is this: if I walk away from my teaching job, will I be able to take care of my family? That's my fear. But my strength says I'm scared, but I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. So June 10th, which is in a couple of days, I will be walking away from my teaching job of 25 years to further my nonprofit.
Well, congratulations. This is a celebration. It's not a funeral, is it? I mean,
No, it's not a funeral. And also, I do have some good news. I am an ambassador to the United Nations in the education department. So I will be going to a national meeting the end of September of this year. So I'm very excited and looking towards that.
wow, that's good. So now you're off to a whole new career. You're off to doing
Yes.
something different. You're off and taking face. What's your biggest fear now? You're doing it. So I don't know. Is the fear gone? Did it just disappear? Did it just go
No.
away? Or what's going through your mind right now? Maybe it's not even fear. Maybe just a lot of thoughts are going through your mind. What type of thoughts are going through your mind within the next 48 hours? By the time people see this, your one chapter would have closed and a new door
Mhm.
would open up. What's kind of going through your mind?
That right there. This change. This is a big change. And I'm afraid, but I'm strength is helping me pull through. So this moment right here, I'm still nervous. I was packing up my classroom today, and I'll finish tomorrow, and then I'll turn in my keys on Wednesday. So I'm still a ball of nerves right now. Like in this moment, I am afraid, but every time I think of it, strength steps in and say, "You're gonna be okay."
Mm. And why do you feel like you're going to be okay? Is it because of your prayers? Is it because of your hard work? Is it because of what you believe? Why do you believe you're going to be okay?
I believe I'm gonna be okay because this decision has been weighing on me for a while to do it, and I can't be in a little box. I have to spread my wings and perfect my gifts.
Yeah, but you spent years helping children and families kind of grow and find their own strength and reach a whole nother level. What have you learned working with the children and the families you have over the years to help them overcome fear? What have you learned that you're going to be able to apply? Well, I guess for yourself now,
Hmm.
because I know
Well,
when I
I've
was in school,
learned
I was
over,
fearful a lot. So
yes, yes. I've learned over the years when when you're going through things to talk it out and to make sure um that you have things in place so when your transition and when that fear comes in, you can transition easily, and strength will help you do that.
I love that, by the way. And again, I remember when I used to be fearful of math. I was fearful of algebra. I was fearful of reading and having to write down what I just read because I just hated writing at the time. But I'm
Yeah.
curious, and maybe this is a question that's open ended, and then we'll get to your backstory. What are some daily habits? If someone's watching right now and they're like, you know what, I've got some things I got to get over, Shay. Maybe it's not starting a whole new career. Maybe it's a relationship they have right now. Maybe it's in their faith walk. There's some challenges, some things that are in front of them. Maybe it's them in a hobby. They've been on again with this hobby and off again with this hobby and then on again with this hobby. What are some daily habits that someone can do to really be emotionally stronger so they can take more action? What would you say one or
Hmm.
two or three things they can do?
So the first thing I would do is write down your goals, make it plain, and look at them often. Basically, look at them every day, maybe two, three times a day. So when that fear creeps in, you can say, "Okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is my end goal. This is my goal that I'm trying to accomplish." Just like I said in the beginning, some people think fear of as procrastination. So when that procrastination sinks in, pull those goals out, pull from that strength and keep going. If you got to set your timer for 5, 10 minutes of doing something that's towards your goal, don't procrastinate. Do it now. Perfectionism. If you think you might overthink things, right? So look at those goals and make it plain. Don't overthink things. And then the last thing is you write it waiting on the right time. Time is of the essence. We don't have time. Time is so short and every moment counts. So you don't have time to have that fear creep into your life. You got to pull from that strength and those goals of what you're trying to do in the end game.
Well said, by the way. And there's some people who are meeting you for the very first time. I know we got going because I wanted to jump into it. I want them to know where your heart was and what you were feeling. And this is very exciting times for you right now. And some people are saying, well, I don't know her whole backstory. Could you slow down for a moment? I'm in the kitchen cooking right now. I'm in the car driving. I know some of you are in the gym. Some of you might be watching this on your big screen TV. What's up?
Hey.
So take a moment if you would, and you know the question: what's your backstory? Like who are you, and what's the backstory that led you to doing what you're doing now, and being so passionate
Okay.
about it?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, my name is Dr. LaToya Abram-Payton. I am a mother of three, wife of one. That's it. I'm the oldest of four. My father was in the army, so he my mom kept us. She opened up a daycare on base, so she was my very first entrepreneur, and she had that entrepreneur spirit. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I took the route of being a teacher because I wanted to be on my children's schedule so we can have our summers together because I didn't want to miss those moments with them. And then I pursued my doctorate degree. I received my doctorate on last year in curriculum instructions because I really like writing curriculum. I have several books for that helps children with emotional intelligence, and I now have a nonprofit called Underneath It All, for children and families to help them.
And what do you enjoy
I know
most
that
about
was
what you're doing now?
a lot, sir.
I said, tell us about the latest book that you wrote. You mentioned several books. What's the last book you wrote again? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so the it's actually six. It's called A Colorful Emotion Story, and it helps children 4 to 10 gain emotional intelligence. I've been working on it for about 3 years now, and I just made top 3 bestseller on Amazon. So I'm very proud of that accomplishment. And now I'm working on I'm finished my anthology project, and I'm working on a chapter book for the parents. It's called 30 Day Reset, and it's just teaching you how to, just basically saying emotional intelligence is in the pause. So what I mean is you have to pause once you say, like, you're upset, you have to think about your next move. That's the emotional intelligence piece that I want to pull from everyone.
And you mentioned the word emotional intelligence like 3 or 4 times. And some folks might want to know, what is her definition of emotional intelligence? Because they may be curious, like, Shay, what is this? I heard her mention it. I've heard it mentioned lots of times, but what is Dr. LaToya's view of the world on emotional intelligence? We'd like to get your perspective. And then number two,
Mhm.
you talked about how it applies to kids. And there are a lot of parents out there, grandparents like myself. Can you imagine my parent and a grandparent? I mean, wow, I'm moving on up now. There's a
Right.
lot of folks out there who also are mentor to kids as well. And so that might have caught their attention. So, two-part question, if you don't mind me asking. I know we're talking about fear and overcoming that, but what is emotional
Yes.
intelligence? So we understand your definition of it, and then how does that apply to kids? I'm assuming they're in elementary school, middle school, and high school. But how
Mhm.
does that apply to them? Because that's something. It's another area you can help a number of folks that are watching right now as well.
Mhm. Yeah. So the terminology is soft skills, which I really don't like that word, because emotional intelligence is how to regulate your emotions, how to handle situations the correct way, gaining those skills of handling a problem. So, for instance, if a child is angry, um, give them tools of expressing themselves, give them words of how they feel. So when a teacher is, so it could be a teacher or a parent or a community, somebody in the community that's trying to help a child with emotional intelligence, is just finding how to manage their emotions so they can be better adolescents on upwards to better adults, so they can be able to work, be able to go to school, be able to interact with others without shutting down or getting angry or being sad. All those emotions, they will be able to handle them.
I
Because
love
you
it.
can't you can't have you can't if your emotions are unregulated, you will not be able to do anything academic. You will not be able to play sports. You will not be able to focus and doing the things that you need, because you have all this stuff bottled in and you don't know how to get it out the correct way. So that's where my books come in.
Well said, by the way. And um, this is a perfect segue to a segment we have here called Today is My January 1st. Now, you've been on the show
Mm.
before. You're a repeat guest. Glad to have you back, by the way. So, but those folks who are watching, by the way, today is our January 1st, is our personal mantra at the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It represents a fresh start. That's the segment. It represents a do over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is back there, or how bright and sunny the past is, the reality is the past no longer equals the future. And so, my question for the one and only Dr. LaToya on the other side is, when was a time that you had a setback, that there was some challenge, and how were you able to bounce back from it? I know we all had so many along this journey in life, but you had to step back and say, this was a bumpy road, although you're going through one now. What would it be, and how were you able to overcome it?
Oh, that's a good question. I say the defining moment was, and I'm going to say this in my speech on in a couple of weeks. The 2008 was the most powerful moment of my adult life. I experienced heartbreak, hardship after hardship, but like I said, that strength pulled me through. For instance, I had a fire in February. I lost my grandfather in March. And then in May was the most traumatic. I experienced love and loss in the same breath. I married my husband and we buried his mother on the same day. And the reason why we did that is because that's the date she knew, that's the date she had in her heart, so we kept it. And when I tell you emotions don't come up separately, they come up together. It did just that. One minute we're laughing and playing and loving on each other, and the next minute we're a ball of tears, you know, because our person is no longer here to celebrate these moments, these milestones in our life. And then we weren't able to move back in our 2 hour store home until November of 2008. So that year taught me that fear might come, but strength, you have to pull from that strength to be able to do it over and over and over again, because fear is going to come, but strength will always bring you through. So that was a milestone in my life. That year was a pivotal milestone in my life, and yeah, it was tough, but we had some good moments also.
Very well said. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being so authentic. Thanks for being the person that you are. As you step into your new phase now, you talked a little bit about working with one of the government. I think it was a nation. I think you said you work with United Nations.
United Nations.
Yeah.
Yes.
What have you learned about leadership going through just the United Nations relationships, any of the meetings? What have you learned about leadership that has really helped impact you for where you are now in your life?
Ooh, that's a good question. Also, I think when you have leadership, a lot of doors will open up. And by me, I always say in my when I write down my motivations and stuff, I always say that I want to have the seat at the table. And when this kind of fell into my lap, I was like, God, you have a good sense of humor. Cause this is the ultimate seat at the table. I'm able to consult with so many different nations. I'm able to be a leader of a project that will help someone in the education field, that will help some children. So I'm still helping children. I'm still helping families, but it's on a major scale. And sometimes when I think about it, it's like little old me. But yeah, so the leadership, once you put in the work will pay off.
And I think that's a great segue. And again, thanks for sharing to the entrepreneur right now who may be on the verge of quitting. They're watching right
Mm,
now. And the reason they may be on the result of quitting, and again, this is not all of you out there, but maybe it applies to someone listening right now. And that is things just aren't happening fast enough. And you're like,
mhm.
why is it happening fast for me? It's happening for everyone else. It's just not happening for me. What would you say to the entrepreneur that's on the verge of, I won't say quitting, that might be a bit strong for some of you, but slowing down their activities, pulling back a little bit just because it's not happening fast enough for them? What would you say
Mhm.
to that entrepreneur?
I would tell them this is a marathon, not a race. We run our own race. You can't look at him, her, and him. You can't do that and compare yourself because you will go crazy. I would say seek counsel and not opinion. If you know what you know in your heart, what you're trying to do for your business, and you come to a bump in the road, seek counsel. Seek the ones that have already done this and ask the questions and get over that hurdle. And just know hurdles gonna come because it's just like a lifeline. Our life when they put us on a monitor, our hearts is going up and down, up and down. So you have to think of that as life because you don't want to be stagnant because that means we're not living anymore. So just know that those things are gonna come, but just seek out that counsel that knows exactly what you're going through.
I love that. Thanks for sharing. One of the questions I like to ask when we have a few minutes, we have a few minutes now. And that question is, what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? Understanding you've got your doctor's degree, by the way. Understanding you had years of trainings. You had lots of mentors along this journey. You had to read countless books, written more papers. You've watched Instagram. You've been to videos. You've been to training. But if you had to step back and say, you know what, Shay, here's one of the best pieces of advice that's been given to me that I just want to share with someone else, what would it be and why?
Be authentic, be yourself, have the tenacity and the integrity to be the person who you are. Don't try to be like anyone else because somebody's already doing that. Be yourself and be authentic. And what was the other question? I'm sorry. The
No, it
last
was what
question.
would it be and why? I think you kind of given the why a little earlier, which is spot on, by the way. What does success look like for you these days?
Success looks like for me is being healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's my success. And I get up every day and I say, I'm going to learn something. I try to either listen to an audiobook if I don't have time to read. I am trying to be healthy. So I'm being very conscious of what I put in my mouth. And and I'm exercising at least 30 minutes a day. And so yeah, and then being wise, I'm just trying to seek counsel. Like I'm listening to my mentors. I have plenty of them, even on audio, and I just try to put in the work.
Put in the work. That's pretty cool, by the way. As we come down the home stretch, a two-part question. Number one, what type of clients are you looking to work with these days, if any? And number two, how can folks connect with you? If they want to stay in this conversation over and beyond today, where should they go? Is there a website? Is there a place they should go to? What should they do?
Okay. So as I stated before, I have a nonprofit. It's called Accepting Prosperity. It's a two-part co-competency. One is helping children with dignity as far as undergarments. So I provide undergarment kits like underwear, t-shirts, and socks. And then the second part is I provide resources for families up to the underserved. And you don't necessarily have to be underserved, but most of my population that I help is of the underserved. And how you can help me is it takes a village. So it's a 501c3 nonprofit, and you can discover it, do your due diligence at acceptingprosperity.org. No, I'm sorry, acceptingprosperityinc.org. And you can build a kit. It goes right to my nonprofit Amazon store and it gets delivered. And never know, it might go to Ghana because I partner with with the United Nations. I partner with the school in Ghana, and you never know, your kids might go to Ghana. So I always say, whether it's across the street or across the ocean, dignity is dignity, and it takes a village to do this service. So, and just follow me on all social sites, Dr. LaToya Abram-Payton. Look me up on Google, and yeah, let's put in the work and really help these families.
Amen. Let me say thanks so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Please tell your husband hello. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon in
I will.
person.
Yes, I can't wait. Yes, thank you. Thank you so
And
much.
And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, well, we don't have a show. So I never get tired of reminding you every night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what's going on in your life, whether you're doing really, really well and you're going to that next level of success, or you've been hit with the punch that you never saw coming. The one thing I do believe is that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. That being said, my name is Shay Brown. I'm out. Dr. Toya, peace, everybody. We'll see y'all on the other side. Bye-bye.
Bye.